Okay, this is Ken Urban for a CSC 125 video. We're going to take our point class, which I've added a text file to, but I haven't done anything with it, so I've just put a text file in the project, and I put a little sort of random data in there. So what we want to do is we want to make our point class read something from the data file, right? We want to read in these series of points, and then just to do something with it, I guess we'll use this distance to and figure out their distance to the origin. So what I'm going to do is I have some old testing stuff in here that it's very pretty, but I'm going to get rid of it. All right, so I'm going to get rid of that, and I'm going to create another point called origin, right, which is 0, 0, although I happen to know that that's the default. And we'll just put origin in there. So I have a point called origin. That's a good name for a point. Let's just make a change. Let's make sure everything is working hunky-dory. And I get a 0. So let's add a little here, just help with my debugging. I should say distance to the origin is, but I'm going to say distance is. Okay, so distance is 0, right? Because, right, this point P we set in our constructor, right, to be 0. So what we want to do is we want to read them out of the file. Now, there is no reason to put the file inside the point class, right? A point class should only do point things, and opening files and stuff like that is not part of what a point class should do. So I'm definitely going to open the file out here in main. So let me get things started here. I need to include, right, fstream for the files, and it's an input file, and I'll just call it data, and the file name is data.txt. Right, so there's my sort of basic creating. Let's not call it data. Let's call it data file. Excuse me. Now, so we have our pieces here. Let's just run, see if it works right now, real quick. Okay, everything works now. Let's make sure it opens. If data file dot fail, right? If something bad happened, can't open the file. Well, I guess we'll sort of exit gracefully. All right, we'll put an exit 1, which is not as exit success. Since I put exit, I have to know that that's in C std line standard line. Okay, let's test it. We all compiled. Let's put in a file name, right? Because I know data.txt is there. Let's put in a file name that we know isn't there. When data4 is not there. It says can't open file. So we got that working. So in case something happens, that file gets deleted or something like that, or you copy it, doesn't open. You know, let's even be, since we're hard coding it, let's just put the file name there. Right, there we go, data.txt. Okay, now what we want to do is we want to do p.read, right? From the data file. Well, I don't know if I can say read a point here. So that's our prototype. But we also, at some point, going to want to make it where it tells whether this read succeeded or not, right? Because if it fails, we want to do something different. So yeah, that's going to end up being a Boolean. We'll ignore the Boolean part right now. I'm going to put it in there, but we won't do anything with it. We called it read, and we're given an input file stream. These always have to be references, and in is just a good name for it. Now, I've used ifstream here, so I need to have it in this file. So it needs to have fstream here, right? Because I'm using it here, and it's also going to need a using namespace standard in order for it to work. Here, so I have the read here. Now down here, it's a Boolean. It's a member of the point class. It's called read, and it's given an ifstream reference called in. And I'll just return false for no particular reason, just to make sure all the pieces work, and it compiles. Okay, all the pieces worked and it compiled. Well, I don't know if they worked, but they compiled. This is a member of the class, so first we read in X, then we read in Y. I don't know, I'm returning true. We haven't done any of the end of file stuff yet, but right now we just have kind of reading the X and Y. Let's again see if it runs. Okay, oh, and I get a distance of 50. Let's quick look at my data. I'm going to change my data to make it 0.5, 0.5. Let's just see. Run it again. Half of square root of 2, yeah. Square root, yes, half the square root of 2. That's exactly right. Okay, so it looks like it's working. So it's doing it for one of them. Right, so I'm reading in the first piece of data. Now, the loop, again, is not part of the point class. The idea of a point is that it's just a point. It's not doing anything else. If I want to do some reading, I want to do it out here. So, I want to put this in a while loop. So while, right, that's true. Right, so while I can read one, oh, I still have this in here. Okay, we can finally get rid of this. It's no longer the hello world program. I made that change. So now here it's going to keep going while this worked. So if this returns a true, right, it means it read something, it'll print it out. If it returns a false, didn't read something, it won't do this. So we need to go over here, and now we need to do some checks. So if in.eof, right, or in.fail, right, so if it reaches the end of file or if something happens, then I'm going to return false. Otherwise, I'm going to return true. And yeah, let's indent that. That'll look a little nicer. Okay. So, if something bad happened, right, I'm going to return my false and say something bad happened, don't use this data. So now, let's run it. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, ending with 44. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, notice the new line here gives us a 9. That's fine. All right, so now we've got our code set up to read in a whole bunch of points and process them one at a time. Bye.